Hey there everyone, thanks again for tuning in to Sin's Workshop. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. So today we're going to be talking about Hello Cruel Heart by Maureen Johnson. This is, I guess you could say it's a prequel to the Cruella movie that just came out. I have not seen that movie yet. And I don't think, if you're wondering, do you have to see that movie in order to understand this book? No, I don't think so at all. I like the beginning. I like this setting that does give a little bit of backstory to who Cruella was as a child. She is Estella, and her mother called her Cruella because she has a cruel streak to her. And she always said, "Is that Cruella telling you to be mean again?" So I liked that aspect of the storytelling. This whole idea that we all have a darkness to us, I feel like it could be a hint at dissociative identity disorder, maybe, but there's also, well, maybe it's not, maybe it's just, her darker side we all, I think, have a cruel streak to us. So I think that's what that's at. And I like that that's where her mother came up with this name for her, Cruella. This play on words. Estella, you're being cruel. I'm going to call you Cruella. So I do like that her mother did try to temper that. But then, of course, something happens to her mother that leaves Estella an orphan in England, in London. And she's living on the streets now with her dog, and of course she has Jasper and Horace. And I like the friendship, the family that they formed together. And you see that carry on throughout the course of the story. And that's what I really did think was nice. I mean, we all know Jasper and Horace and Cruella are not good people. I think we've all seen 101 Dalmatians, but I like this tie into both the live action movies that have already been developed and the animated feature. Johnson's bringing all the elements together in order to put together this really interesting origin story for Cruella. And she's building up this familial unit between the three characters. And that's what I thought was really cool. That's what I liked about it. I will say, however, was this the most mind-blowing story ever? No. It's just a story. It doesn't really have a whole lot of depth to it, and I don't think, it needs it, honestly. And I'll defend my point of view in a second. We're learning about Cruella. We're learning who she was as a 16-year-old girl. So the author is really delving into the 1960s London scene. Punk rock was coming alive during this time, and I liked that. I liked the atmosphere. I loved the culture that Johnson is exploring in her narrative. I think it is so well done and well written. The story maintains this pace. The story maintains its fluidity, but it's, again, not the most mind-blowing story. It doesn't have a whole lot of depth to it. It doesn't have it's not superficial. That's what I want to stress to you guys right now. It is not a superficial story. It's just a story. I think my favorite origin of hers will always be the one in Once Upon a Time. That one was pretty cool. But I liked the realism. I like how she's just a girl. She's living on the street. She wants to be creative. She wants to be a fashion designer. And, you know, class status is kind of getting in her way. So there is a touch on social class differences and how those with power tend to take advantage or look at the impoverished as sort of just accessories to wear. I wish there had been a little bit more depth to the development of that, because you really do get to see that a lot in the story. Cruella thinks she's making connections. Maybe she is. But, of course, rich snobby teenagers don't really offer her a lot to do, I guess. They don't really offer her a lot of options, is what I'm trying to say. They don't really offer her a lot. Like I said, they really do treat her more of an accessory. So Cruella is learning the hard way that her dreams, as much as she wants to attain them and go for them, it's going to be hard for her. It is. It is going to be a little hard for her in the long run. But, you know, it was still a good story. It was a really fast-paced read. It was a breeze to read. I just wish there had been a little bit more depth to the overall narrative. Is Cruella an interesting character? Of course, she is an interesting character. She's interesting. I do like her backstory. It is relatable. You do get to see the foundations of the Disney villain there. Like I said, Cruella. Is she Estella or is she Cruella? You know, there's still a lot of choices for her. And I like how she formed a family with Jasper and Horace. I like seeing how much they care for her. You know, they didn't have to. You know, they didn't have to take this little girl from the street and offer her a home, and they just get her. They just get her. And I do love that brother-sister bond that they form together. It really gives a little bit more depth to it than we see in any of the movies. You know, they just kind of look, in the movies they're just kind of like her lackeys, her henchmen. No, they're more than that. You're seeing the foundations of their relationship here in the story, and I did enjoy that. I do think that did have depth. I just think the whole story as a whole was just, I mean, it wasn't a bad story. It was okay. I think I just wanted a little bit more from it, because I feel like the author, Johnson, she's touching on some things, you know, maybe she has dissociative identity disorder, maybe not. She's constantly fighting with her darkness. I wanted to see a little bit more of that. She's discussing the differences between, class status. I wanted a little bit more of that. Especially 1967 summer London scene. I think there's a lot of room and opportunity to explore a lot of these themes in a more meaningful and impactful way for the reader. But not everything has to be meaningful and impactful. Sometimes you just want to read a quick story because it's fun to read, and I also understand that. So that's what this is. You know, it was quick, it was easy, it was interesting. The writing is solid. Cruella is a very good character. She is very well written. I do love her narrative. I do love that constant internal struggle that she does have with Cruella. So I did like that. And ultimately, I did enjoy the story. So I'm going to give Hello, Cruel Heart 3.5 out of 5 stars. Again, I think there was a lot of room for Johnson to really delve into the story in a more meaningful and impactful way. But as just a quick story to read. I mean, it's for ages 12 and over. It was good. You know, if you're interested in learning a little bit more of the fashion scene of the 1960s era of London and Cruella, you know, it really did offer something to the reader. It does offer something, which I thought is better than nothing. So 3.5 out of 5 stars. If you want to purchase the book, please remember to purchase the book from your local bookstore or online book retailer. All I ask is that you support your bookstores instead of Amazon when it comes to purchasing books. If money's tight, you can check out the book from your local library. They do curbside pickup, ebooks, and audiobooks, as well as physical books. If you do not have a library card, you can get a digital library card from your online. You know, if you're like, COVID, you can just go online, apply for one, super easy, and then you can have access to their entire digital catalog of ebooks and audiobooks. And you can even put in requests if the title you want is not there. So libraries are a great resource. Definitely support them as well as your local bookstores. You can also check out Scribd, which is an alternative to Audible, which is also hosted by Kindle. Scribd is not. I'm saying, you know, Audible is. But Scribd is great. It's $9.99 a month. Cheaper than Audible by like $5. And you have complete access to their entire catalog as well. And they have a lot. They have a lot of ebooks there. They have a lot of audiobooks there. Scribd is great, and I'm in no way saying that because I'm being sponsored or paid to. I'm saying it because I have one, and I use it a lot. I've used it for years. I don't have to wait for my monthly free credit for $14.95 a month. It's $9.99. I just get it, and then I'm there. It's great. So those are some resources for you outside of Amazon. You can also get your library card on the Overdrive app or Libby. All I'm saying is support books, not Amazon. They get enough business, let's be real. On that note, I hope you all will continue to support me by liking this video and subscribing to my channel. Best way you can support me, honestly, is by sharing it with all of your book-loving friends. I love and appreciate every single one of you. You can also support me by making a small donation on Buy Me a Coffee or by purchasing one of my handmade candles. I hope you all have a great and wonderful day, and as always, happy reading.